Letztes Viertelfinale und wir dürfen uns auf die aktuelle Nummer 10 freuen, auf den Mann, der in seiner Karriere schon 7 Major-Turniere gewonnen hat. Natürlich war auch schon ein Erfolg auf der European Tour mit dabei, 2016, damals in Hamburg. Die Rede ist von The Machine, James Wade. James Wade trifft auf einen zweimaligen BDO-WM-Finalisten. Der Mann hat 2004 das World Masters gewonnen, was sein größter Erfolg in seiner langen Laufbahn war. Aktuell steht er auf Weltranglistenplatz Nummer 21. Die Rede ist vom König, The King, Mervyn King!
Where the traitor lost both his name and his face. Through the halls and the corridors, stinking in blood, he tasted his grin, and it tasted good.
It is the King and the Machine fighting it out for the last remaining spot in the semi-finals of the European Darts Open. Here at the Ostermann Arena in Leverkusen, a packed out crowd, around about 3,000 fans here in Germany to see the culmination of the first Euro Tour event of the year. The men who dominated the Euro Tour for the last couple of years, Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen, the top 2 in the world, are still in the hunt for the title. But Mervyn King has won before. James Wade has won a couple of them before. And with the way that these two have been playing over the course of this weekend, they could upset the apple cart. They might have to beat the top 2 players in the world back to back, should they come through this quarter-final matchup. But we know they're capable of doing it. Paul Nicholson, a former Euro Tour finalist, sat alongside me, Dan Dawson, for this one. James Wade, he looks back in form, ominously so.
Looks good, doesn't he?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, first leg change, the throw first, game on!
We're almost sitting on the edge of our seats thinking, you know what, is this the start of the proper comeback? Well, I spoke to him very briefly. I went back to the hotel after the afternoon session and he was standing outside just getting some fresh air. And I just said, nice job, James. And he said 3 words to me, nothing else. He said, it's a start. That says a lot to me. That's not, you know, that's okay. It's a journey. It's a journey. He understands that he wants to get back to getting the big paychecks.
134.
Well, we have seen some fantastic games over the course of this weekend, but I think the standout one in terms of quality has to be James Wade's clash with Michael Smith, the final game of this afternoon session in the last 16, when both men averaged 106. And it was a lot higher than that for both of them earlier on in the game. It was magnificent stuff. Smith could have taken it had he hit a double at the end of 3 or 4 big combination finishes. Then it could have swung his way. But James Wade just kept doing what needed to be done. And he is an absolute black belt, ninja kung fu master at doing what is needed when he needs to do it.
Darting ninja.
He is. He looks hungry. He looks like he really cares. He wants it.
81.
And he's also ironed out some of the technical flaws in his game. He had that little hop when he was throwing that I think, basically ignored people who were telling him that it was an issue. Said, look, I'm James Wade, I'm a multiple major champion, I know what I'm doing. He does know what he's doing, because he takes these out for fun.
Well, it's a 1.
61.
Well, that facial expression looks like he's sucking on a lemon. He will be if Mervyn takes the 1-4-1. Not to be, so he will be back. Weren't many legs like this against Michael Smith. But like Peter Wright said earlier on, this is the hardest game for them to win because they've had that break. The adrenaline goes up when you play. You have to let it come down and then it has to come back up again. It's very, very hard to do. But James Wade has taken the first leg.
Well, it was a win on the Euro Tour in Gibraltar 4 years ago for James Wade that signalled his renaissance after 2 years in the doldrums, struggling with all his personal problems and mental health problems, as he fires in his first 180 of this one.
And I was saying to Rob Malarkey earlier on that when he was omitted from the Premier League the first time, that happened.
Yeah.
And then he went on this run of form over the summer. He played very, very well. He's been omitted from the Premier League again. Look what happened. He's starting to pick it up again.
Yeah.
And we used to have this running joke about Wadey a few years ago. When he wanted a new car, he'd always play well. It always coincided with when he wanted a new car.
137.
The dart is going in at a better angle. It's going in with more purpose. And he's using the same gear. Same barrel, same flight, same stem. So that says to me, it's technical what he's changed.
You know, there may be more changes. The obvious one is that hop that he's eliminated. I don't know if he's done any more. It looks a very, very similar throw. He just doesn't lift up on his front leg.
62. Single 12. That is double 13 now. Right on the wire. And we know Merv's going 18 double 16 here.
We do.
Right in the middle of that single. Is that awkward? Is he covering the bed? Absolutely not. He just flew it over the top.
Third leg, James.
And from a technical perspective, there's one other thing with James that we noticed beginning of last season on the Euro Tour, actually. His address point was coming towards his eyebrow, and looking at some other footage from years ago when he was playing really, really well. When he was drawing the dart back, it was coming towards just under his left eye. But the address position when he was prodding the arm forward, like he's just done, it was almost straight forward, whereas last year it was very high. So he was bringing it high and then bringing it down, and it was almost awkward to watch. So I think someone's noticed that, and he's changed the actual technical aspect of prodding the dart a little bit lower and then bringing it back straight. This is more of the technique that he had 10 years ago.
Well, look, you can go back and look through James Wade's incredible list of wins. I mean, it is superb. He's won most of the major titles. Obviously, the World Championship has eluded him, but he won the Premier League, beating Mervyn King in the final. Mervyn fires in his first maximum to leave 41 after 9. Wade. It's one of these Wade finishes, treble 17 and bull, for some world-class wading. Not quite.
Mervyn, you require.
Well, Mervyn's technique has never changed. That little twist of the dart to leave double 16. And he does this for fun usually. Oh, too many. Too much juice, Merv.
James, you require 31.
His favourite area of the board, it's got to be 11. Yep. Double 10. Well, two of the best hitters of those particular doubles you will ever see in this game have missed 2 darts in consecutive visits.
On the bright side, Merv's just got to hit what he's just hit.
Yeah, just throw it the same. But
got to do it again. Can't afford to go high for double 11 or he'll bust it. Double 4 now.
8 score.
That is right
And he
on the metal piece.
stayed over there, didn't he? Didn't move back to the centre. And sometimes you wonder whether that does make a
Game
difference.
shot
Double
number
5 is
9.
pinned by James Wade. 2-1.
Full leg, Mervyn the throw first. Game on.
James Wade, we mentioned that Gibraltar win that signalled his return to form. He then went and claimed the most recent of his major titles, the Masters, beating Mervyn King in the final.
Really?
Really?
Bizarre tournament, wasn't it? Mervyn played so well in that event, and he knows he should have won it. But then again, there's a lot of stories of should have won this with these two guys. Wade should have won that world title after the Breezegate incident in the semis. He had one dart at double 18 to win that game, and I firmly believe if he had won that game, he would have won the final.
Well, it seemed there for the taking, didn't it?
Was that the one that got away? Will he ever be there again?
Well, I firmly believe you cannot discount James Wade, but if you look at some of the numbers he was chucking at the back end of last year, we were seeing James Wade losing games with averages in the 70s, and I had never seen that before. Ever. It was some of the worst darts that I'd ever seen him throw in his career.
Not even when he was 16, 17 was he averaging that. He was always around the 90 mark.
And they were, I was genuinely concerned that he might be slipping. He fell out of the top 10 for the first time in a decade, although he is back in at number 10 at the minute. But there have been signs, there have been some, not only wins, but big averages. Un-Wade-like averages. Not known for chucking 110 averages, but he's done it. He's done it recently over the last few weeks.
Still possible at treble 18.
Well, there's been a few of those, haven't there? The 81, the 1-2-1, that one there. Their finishes were expecting James Wade to have taken at least one of them out from the 3 attempts. And it is a level game. We've got it 2-2 here.
That was a very fortunate little ricochet that he had there off the first dart. Could have gone anywhere really, but it went in the double. And I was pretty certain that was going to be a 180, but went through the 2 of the first darts and he hit the rugby shot right through the posts.
Ooh.
83.
A full Merv really then. Enjoyable. One of the most incredulous dart players around, Mervyn King.
Using words I don't know again, Dan.
Maximum, you know that one, it's 2 apiece in this one.
The 180th 180 of this tournament. And it won't be the last. Will we get to 200 today?
Well, we've got a few extra legs potentially in which to do it. With the semis first to 7 and the final first to 8.
59.
The longest Pro Tour games in history. It's always been first to 6.
Of course, there used to be a time where we played sets. Best of 3 legs a set. Best of 5 sets.
122.
Just looking to set it up. Big 2 now to leave tops.
82.
Wouldn't even entertain hitting a 10 or a 6, James Wade. He's a tops 10s and 12s guy. Very much like Gary Anderson, Robert Thornton.
40.
James just letting this legs slip by.
2 10s again. Yeah, very good indeed. It's a positive dart, that. Always find that when James Wade hits the top half of the double 10, it's a really positive throw. When he hits the bottom half, it's maybe just not the perfect dart, but it was good enough. I really like that camera angle on the side when we saw his address position before he throws it. It shows that he brings the dart back very, very straight, whereas previously it was coming from high to low. So high in front of the eye, and then when he was bringing it back, he was bringing it downwards to throw it straight. It was all wrong.
100.
With that little hop that he had as well, there's a lot of moving parts from that, but it just looks a lot more steady. I mean, it's rock solid, isn't it? It's only really the arm that's moving. And look at the results. 3 180s for James Wade now in this match. And applying some pressure to the Mervyn King throw. 5 holds of throw we've had in this match so far. There have been chances either way for breaks, but none taken as yet.
Look at that. Straight back. There's the slightest dip down from the front, but it's so much better than before. And someone's obviously spoken to him about it, because it was terrible this time last year.
Oh, now then Merv. He's not going to find the 164 checkout, and we've said that Wade has had a number of opportunities for these kinds of finishes, the ones that have always been his calling card over his entire career. He's not taken any out yet in this quarter-final, but he might take this one out. Double 6.
Oh, how good was that dart?
James Wade.
Only a matter of time before Wade starts wading. And he gets the break of throw with a 12 darter.
You do see as well, with particularly the guys who are already through, Van Gerwen and Wright. Maybe not Northey, because he's made things look a little bit more stressful than the other guys.
He certainly did.
But the great players, and when Wade is playing like this, I put him in that bracket. He's making it look very easy. It's just like he's practicing in his back room and just having a gentle throw.
Look at that first 9 average from James Wade. He is not renowned as being one of the big scorers in the world, but 122, that is up there with what the best players in the world playing somewhere near their best. That is what they want to be doing. And Merv's is very, very impressive.
Is that the reason for your earlier tweet about majors?
I genuinely think, and it's not just his displays here. The Michael Smith game was fantastic, but he's had 2 mid-90s averages in beating Steve Beaton and Jelle Klaas and 2 former world champions. He's got a former world master he's got on the ropes here. But we've seen on the Pro Tour, and look, if you subscribe to PDC TV, if you're watching the stuff on Dart Connect, you are seeing the numbers that these guys are throwing. You can go on there now and check them. He's had some big ton-plus averages and some good runs on the Pro Tour. Not as consistent as he used to be, but he's suggesting that he is back in form and back playing the sort of stuff that won James Wade major titles.
And there are majors that he hasn't won. We've talked about the Worlds, but he's never won the Players' Championship finals. He got very close to winning the Grand Slam, so there's another one he hasn't won.
Well, somebody suggested to me that, oh, well, he's going to have to be lucky. I don't see him being Michael Van Gerwen or Gary Anderson. Well, Gary Anderson's not going to be at the European Championship for a start. He's not going to play these.
Yeah, he's never won that one either, has he? I get the feeling Wade he's definitely going to be there, the way he's playing now, because he's 5-2 to the good and 1 leg away from getting into the semi-finals here in Leverkusen.
No, I just think James Wade is 200 to 1 for the World Championship, and I know people I work with in darts who have said to me over the last few years, James Wade will never win a World Championship. The game has moved on. You have to be going and averaging 110 plus to, you know, at your best, to be able to live with the likes of Van Gerwen or whatever. It's nonsense. It is nonsense. If you average 100 and you take out your chances at the right time, then you can win. And James Wade can average 110 anyway, because we've seen it. But he is also absolutely phenomenal at taking out the right shots when it matters.
But he can average 110 in a 3-leg burst, have a bad set, then do it again, have a bad set. If he does it over 7 sets, gets himself to a final, he can win a world title.
Yeah, he can do. He can do. And that's irrespective of all the other big TV tournaments. And people who say, oh, he's not going to beat Michael Van Gerwen. Jeffrey de Zwaan beat Michael Van Gerwen at the UK Open, playing some excellent darts, but it was only a high 90s average because he took out the chances when he needed to.
It's down to 3 words, isn't it, with Wadey's career, and with a lot of people. They probably need to listen to these 3 words. Adapt or perish. Perish away if you want, give up. At one point in your career, you will have to say to yourself, do I still want this? James Wade has had that conversation, probably with his wife, with himself, with his agent.
174.
He's chosen to adapt. He doesn't want to perish. And even though Mervyn King is in a lot of pain, he's just pumped in a 174 to say, I'm not ready to perish.
Superb leg of darts from Mervyn King. 180 and a 174. Leaves him on his favourite. His finishing's not been great. Problems.
Game shot in the 8th leg.
Problem avoided, at least negotiated. 5-3. Wade has the throw here and in the last leg. Should we go the distance? Can he get the job done?
It's fair to say that Wade looks a little bit more comfortable than Merv right now.
I have to say, I mean, if there's, I mean, it's not even a criticism of James Wade. So many times over the years, when you've watched Wade and he's managed to build up what looks like a very healthy and commanding lead, the intensity will just go because he thinks I've got this, and he lets somebody back into the game, and then he suddenly concentrates again and gets the deciding leg won. And he was always so excellent to that. And in the last year and a half, where he has struggled, he has lost a lot of last leg deciders because he hasn't been able to go to the well and find enough to get the job done. Now, something has changed over the last few weeks, it would appear. We might be seeing him put to the real test to see if he can produce one of those James Wade last legs to get it done here, because Mervyn King is battling.
He's battling a lot of things. He's battling a deficit. He's battling a great opponent. He's battling pain. Right now, but not on this visit. Good last start though. Forcing James Wade to hit more than 100 to get on a finish. Doesn't have to use the ball now. He can fill it up.
1-3-5 for the match for James Wade. His highest checkout is 81 so far in this match.
Only 116 for the whole event, isn't it?
135.
This would eclipse it. That's a good dart. Treble 15. He fancied that, you know. He wanted to get rid of it now. He's got a bank on Mervyn King not hitting 82. Get the feeling if Mervyn hits the ball, could be leg over.
Well, even if he just get one leg at tops, he's still a phenomenal hitter of it. Look at the grimace on Mervyn King's face. Oh my word, what's he doing?
What's just happened? In all my career, I have never seen Mervyn go treble 14 for 82. That is really taking us by surprise, but boy, was that effective.
Wow. Merv, 52 years young and still a capability to surprise.
See, a leopard never changes its spots, but what's next? Is he going to go for 20s on 80?
Well, he'll never do that, surely.
Well, he hit it earlier on, didn't he? 16-14 bull.
He did. Did that earlier on in that game against Mensur Suljovic when he came through against the Champions League of Darts winner. Adapt or perish, they say. Merv adapts with a treble 14 and tops for 82.
I'm still processing it. I really am. Known the guy 10 years, never seen him do it. He is very good on tops, you know. He doesn't give himself enough credit.
That's the thing. I mean, he's an incredible double 16 hitter, but he's excellent on tops as well. He has 82 left. Even if he does get one at tops, he quite fancy him.
In a strange sort of way, it's very un-Merv-like, but it wasn't a smart shot. Because if he's got this pain in his back, double top is harder to hit with a bad back than a lower double.
You would think. Now then. Yeah, very important last start there. Mervyn having to almost literally pick himself up off the canvas. Wade has left 121 for the match. He had a look at 135, and he was a whisker away from getting a match start. Merv on a Shanghai finish. Now then, can Wade close it out and book his place in the semis? He might well do it. 11s. Ball!
96.
It was that familiar thud of the middle of the board, but it wasn't close enough to the middle. And Merv might need tops again. He's not going to get a shot at it because he can't finish from there. Could be all over.
5 double 10 unless he's going to do a Merv and just change his route inexplicably. Of course he won't. Double 10. James Wade tidies it up with a 14 darter. And the machine's resurgence looks to be gathering momentum, because the multiple major champion, the two-time Euro Tour winner, James Wade, has chucked in another average round about the ton mark, and he is through to the semi-finals to take on Peter Wright. We have our semis lineup: Van Gerwen versus North, Wright versus Wade. We'll grab a few words with the machine, and then we will launch into the semi-finals. Just 3 games remain at the European Darts Open.
Applaus für Mervyn King. James, welcome to the semis. You're happy that you're motivated again playing darts. What kind of goals do you set for 2018? Is it the ranking? Are these the major tournaments to win one again?
It sounds cliche, but you know, I mean, you play in Germany and you play in front of this crowd. It's not the only place in the world, but it's a great feeling, you know, to be up here, have the crowd behind you, everyone's enjoying themselves. Why wouldn't I enjoy my job?
Yeah. That's right. So, we'll see you later again. Thank you very much.
Just want to say thank you very much.
James bedankt sich bei euch für die tolle Stimmung. Er sagt, warum soll ich meinen Job nicht genießen? Ist ja einer, der immer wieder dann auch mal mit der